Hey everyone, it's September 18th, and that means that if today's your birthday, you share with English murderer Neil Entwistle, known for killing his American wife and daughter in 2006 in Massachusetts. And that is him right up there. Entwistle was born in Nottingham in 1978, the elder of two sons of a coal miner and school cook, and grew up in a normal working class home. A good student, he attained his master's degree in electrical engineering from the University of York. While at university, he met a young American who was studying abroad. The two hit it off and romance blossomed, and she took his ring in 2003. They had a daughter in 2005 and decided to move to the United States, where they initially stayed at his in-laws' house in Massachusetts. He had worked as a software engineer in England, but was unable to find work in America, and she was a drama teacher at a high school. In January of 2006, the young family found their own place and moved to a house in a suburb of America's worst big city, Boston. Just 10 days after moving, Entwistle purchased a one-way ticket to London on British Airways and boarded a flight 3 hours later. What he left behind was a horrific scene. His wife and baby were shot to death in the master bedroom of their home. They were discovered 3 days later when the young mother was unable to be reached by phone, and the police were called in for a wellness check. Reached by phone at his parents' house, Entwistle told investigators that he had left in the morning to run an errand and that he returned 2 hours later to find the two lying dead in bed. He stated that he didn't want to call 911, but that he wanted to kill himself out of grief, so he drove 50 miles to his in-laws' house to try and obtain a handgun he knew was kept there. When he found the house was locked, he drove to the airport and flew home to England to see his parents. This story, of course, was nonsense, especially since the keys to his father-in-law's house were found on his keychain, and his DNA was found on the .22 caliber handgun that was used to shoot his wife and daughter. That gun, by the way, was found back at his in-laws' house where it was normally kept. Within 3 weeks of his return to England, he was arrested and quickly extradited back to the U.S. to face trial for murder. The prosecution believed that he had intended to carry out a murder-suicide, but lost his nerve after the first part. Entwistle's defense was that his wife had killed their daughter before shooting herself in the head, but forensic evidence isn't consistent with that theory, which had also required us to believe that he saw his wife kill herself in front of him, at which point he took the gun used and returned it to his in-laws' house. Investigators also discovered that he had 18 credit cards, all maxed out, and that he had been relentlessly viewing pornography and seeking anonymous sex through seedy websites. Computer experts revealed that he had recently searched Google for how to kill with a knife, and that he had been scamming people through eBay, accepting payment for computers he sold that he never had in his possession. Entwistle was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison, where he is in protective custody after being threatened by multiple white supremacist prison gangs. His parents still insist that he is innocent and blame their daughter-in-law, and have filed complaints against the press in Britain over their coverage of the case. He has even written letters to his victims' parents that blame their daughter for what happened, so it seems he's sticking with his story. A documentary titled The Man Who Didn't Cry was released in 2012 about the Entwistle murders. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Neil Entwistle I say, happy birthday, you bastard.